Hey, we should be live. Microphone looks good. Got my display capture. Okay, so we finished Balluna last time, and I had to decide who I wanted to build around. We had a few options. We have, like, the mono red god from Ixalan, like Lost Caverns of Ixalan, that got spoiled, and mono green Galta, which are both okay, but neither one of them, like, maybe the red god because burn in commander. Let me get a little bit of water. Didn't realize my throat was still as raspy sounding. And still I started trying to talk right now from yesterday. Anyway, so we could build around the mono red god and his burn matters tech, but maybe we still will when Ixalan comes out. I'm going to assume there are going to be some more interesting cards to build around than him, so. And we got Huatley, but I think I want to see some of the other cards from the set before I start trying to build around her. And I do not really care for the playing style if that we would have to do to build around oh god, Jeff Goldblum's character from Jurassic Park. So yeah, none of the previews from the pre-preview season, never-ending hype train of Magic the Gathering really interested me. There's also, like, a spoiler for Keelan with his green adventure, but again, nothing that really stood out. And there were a handful of commanders from Wilds of Eldraine that were really cool. So we have, obviously I've chosen Eriette because she's right here, focused on the thing, but we had the option to go with Rowan. I think Rowan is insanely powerful. Like, Rowan would have been a very cutthroat commander deck if we built around her. There's also from the commander subset that's not in the commander decks, Bernard, the gingerbread baker, who makes weird artifact creature golem food tokens out of your dead things, so he was pretty neat to build around. I decided to go with Eriette, though, because A, she is the other two colors after doing Balluna for the past month, so we get to look at completely different cards than what we've been staring at. And B, I do actually really like her design. Auras are not normally a thing in Commander unless you are building around, like, Zur the Enchanter or Yrel the Miststalker or something similar where it's trying to Voltron together a bunch of auras. The idea of putting auras on your opponent's creatures, especially, and she's just an Enchantment Matters commander, so we don't have to put I know she is, like, she does actually care about auras. Number of auras you control, so we do need auras specifically. Why did I think she was just enchantments? Well, fortunately, reading the card explained the card, so yeah, we do have to focus on auras. Okay. Again, not something that normally happens a lot in Commander, so I'm kind of interested to build around her and see what cool things we can do. Obviously, she's going to have a lot of the Enchantment Matters cards in her deck still, because it's kind of hard not to do that. So, I've already pulled up the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, since that is alphabetically first. You're probably going to hear a lot of dripping and splashing in the background. It is pouring buckets outside, and there is a leak in my house, like, under one of the eaves in the ceiling, so when it rains at certain angles, it floods my back office here, and it has been, like, absolutely ridiculous. With the hurricane down in Florida, or not hurricane, it's a tropical storm, but still, it has just, I have a trash can that is, like, about a foot tall, and it is filling up with water. I've had to dump it out already twice today, so it's gotten pretty bad back here. So If you hear all that splashing when I talk, which it should only pick it up when I'm talking, but that is what you are hearing in the background this time. So yeah, we're just going to start in with Adventures in the Forgotten Realms and see what we want to grab. So Battlefield, if you haven't completed, you get to explore a dungeon. More dungeon matters. Yeah, I'm not expecting to find a ton here in Forgotten Realms, because there was not like an Auras Matter theme at all, or even Enchantments Matter. So I'm not expecting to find anything here, but maybe. We really want to lean into her whole opponents are going to lose X life and we're going to gain X life thing as our primary way of winning the game. And then we're going to expand that by not allowing our opponents to attack us with any of their creatures. So, recurring enchantments, we're going to be grabbing the things from Urza's Saga, especially. Urza's Saga block. The white and black equivalents to Rancor are definitely going to make an appearance in our deck list. So, but we'll be looking for things like that, ones that can pull themselves back from the graveyard. Anything along those lines. I don't think there were any such cards in Forgotten Realms, but we are certainly going to look for them anyway, just to be sure. So I may occasionally get distracted. I'm also doing a farming event in Opera Omnia right now because I forgot that a new event went live last night when I was playing Batman. So it doesn't require much of my focus, just tapping a button every couple minutes just to make it go to the next one, since it's a auto farming event. There was a story event too, but I did that this morning, so lest you think the game is just a bunch of auto farming, which honestly, games like that, like idle games, I just find very tedious and boring. So, like, I don't really want to play a game where the goal of the game is to not play the game, but to let it play itself out. But if it has a bit of a component like that, I don't mind as much. Hey, that's true. We do have Minimus Containment, although this does let you sacrifice the enchanted permanent to get it off of the table, so that's kind of actually not helpful, is it? Like, we really want something where they can't just throw it away. Search my library for an enchantment card, reveal it, shuffle, and put that card on top. I'm sure we'll have better options, but at the same time, that is a tutor effect for things that we're going to care about, so I can't completely dismiss it until we have some of the better options in front of us. And until I know if we're going to play a card that lets us cast enchantments off the top of our deck, because I've been jamming a whole lot of future sight effects. In my defense, Wizards has been printing a whole lot of future sight effects in the past couple years, so I kind of have a lot of options for such things. Nadir is Dungeon Exploration. Fiddlebender is Artifacts Matter. Paladin class is okay. Not amazing. At least not in this deck. Well, unfortunately, we're never going to complete a dungeon, so Precipitous Drop is kind of 3 mana. Enchanted creature gets -2/-2, scry 1 a lot of the time. Or maybe search my deck for a basic land was the other option. Something along those lines. Anyway. We're not going to run the other one, so I'm not going to bother with it. Steadfast Paladin, Teleportation Circle, affects artifacts and creatures, so we can't blink our auras to move them onto other more relevant cards as our opponents play things. If we find a card that will do that, though, pretty sure I'm going to be down for adding that to the deck. As long as it's my turn, has first strike, naturally has death touch, and when it attacks, venture into the dungeon. I might be down for Warlock class. As I consider my options. I am a little bit sad. I did think Eriette was actually all enchantments. I've only played with her once in Limited, so. And most of my enchantments were, in fact, auras anyway. I was playing on Arena, so it didn't matter. I might have missed that. For some reason on Arena, I just don't pay as much attention to the cards as I normally do in paper. It's kind of like I'm letting Arena read my cards for me a lot of the time. So I play a lot worse on Arena than I do in real life. And then you add into that the fact that I'm usually streaming it and therefore constantly talking about what's going on. So that doesn't help anything. Alright, let's check the Commander section of Adventures in the Forgotten Realms and see what we can do. Oh, right. Adventures in the Forgotten Realms gets all weird. Alright. Well. Times like these, this is what I use Scryfall for. Even though I actually prefer Gatherer's setup when it's showing me the cards. Like, having the Oracle text over here and the expansions in case I need to know if it's from another set or something is super helpful. So. Forgotten Realms Commander. And search. Now we can add in set number. Attacks another target attacking creature gains indestructible. Whenever a creature or planeswalker you control becomes a target of spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. If a creature deals combat damage, you may put an aura card from your hand onto the battlefield attached to it. Yeah, I'm not going to be running a lot of positive auras, I don't think. Like, I'm more concerned with enchanting our opponent's creatures. I might put some positive things on them, but for the most part, I'm either concerned that the aura itself is doing good things for me, or that it's actually a detriment to the opponent's creatures and they can't attack me in addition to being weakened. Like, I would much rather do that. Enters the battlefield, return any number of target aura and or equipment from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to enchanted creature. +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to it. So this is a 5-drop that has to land, and then I have to put everything on the creature that I put this on. Yeah, I'm not really feeling that one. Add the number of creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. Yeah. One result is the number of 2/2 knights. The other one is destroy each creature with power greater than or equal to the other result first. Sacrifice another non-token artifact or creature, exile it. I don't really care for the Bag of Devouring. Really need Death Tyrant. Dance Macabre. Yeah, I don't really care. I don't care for any of the endeavors with their 2 different dice, and then you choose one number. If you roll really low on both dice, they are costed. They are costed as though you are rolling pretty high on one or both of the dice. And if you roll really low on both of them, you're going to be super, super sad. Roll deal combat damage to a player. Create 2 treasures. To opponent's graveyard from anywhere. You may pay life equal to its mana value. If you do, put it onto the battlefield under your control. It's a warlock. Really need that. Don't need the wand. Fly. Hours and Underdark Rift. Okay. Too far. That was Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. On to Aether Revolt. Creature or vehicle. So, vehicles that control flying. Various Aether creatures. Audacious Infiltrator. Battle at the Bridge. Can attack or block. Vehicle you control attacks exile enchanted creature. I think we can do better than a lot of the arrest effects. Like, I'll run certain ones to be sure because they work with the deck. But conviction. Nope, that actually works. This is the... Oh no, conviction is originally from Stronghold. Okay, so we'll add it in when we get there. But yeah, an aura where I can get it back to my hand very readily to stop opponents from getting rid of it permanently by killing off the creature that it's on. The downside to a lot of this is that sacrifice effects will not be a thing I can reasonably respond to, because by the time I can, my aura will already have gone to the graveyard. So, by the time I know what they're sacrificing anyway, and I can't just put the aura on their thing normally and not have, like, if they have a way to sacrifice it, it's going to go away, so. Exile another target permanent I control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Unfortunately, it's a one-shot, and I'm not really planning on running things to blink creatures to blink my other cards to move the auras around, so that one seems unlikely to be relevant. Death Touch Lifelink. Yeah, the biggest problem about putting positive auras on our opponent's creatures is that Eriette has to be in play for that to function. So, when she dies all of a sudden to a targeted removal spell, if I have a bunch of buffing auras on our opponent's creatures, we just die. Like, if they decide they want to take advantage of the fact that they can attack us right now, we just die. So, I would much rather not be that vulnerable. Ariette's already too important to our game plan. I don't need to make it worse by actually actively augmenting the opponent's creatures, unless we're going to put the auras on them that the auras goad the creatures or otherwise don't allow them to attack us. So that way, getting rid of Eriette doesn't suddenly make the opponent able to murder our faces with their buffed up creatures that we've given them. Don't think I need Getaway for anything. Target artifact and or enchantment. That one we might want. Restoration Gearsmith. We usually wind up cutting it because it's a one-shot, but we'll have to see if we have ways to get it back. One specialist. Is one in a white for a dwarf artificer? Yeah. 2-1. Salvage. Positioner. Solid root. Whenever I cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle, draw a card. Yeah, I think we want SRAM. I forgot SRAM included auras, because I don't normally run aura-based decks. Is Edificer, right? That is his title. Yep. In the white, Dwarf Advisor. 2-2. Thopter Arrest. An Aura. Walking Ballista, or Yahenni. Alright. Aether Revolt. On to Alara Reborn. What random white-black cards do you have for us, Alara Reborn? Identity Crisis? No. Think so anyway. Necromancer's Covenant? Not really anything I care about. Yeah, none of those. Alright. Nice and simple. Alliances. Alliances might have some weird cantrip auras, because so did Ice Age. Have to see if there's any of them that we actually want. Because if I'm drawing a card while I'm enchanting a creature, draw 3 cards and discard one of those cards. Maybe? It is kind of frustrating that you have to discard specifically one of the 3 you drew, but chances are there'll be at least one mediocre card. Alright. 2 alliances then for Casting of Bones. This one actually benefits us if our opponent manages to sacrifice the creature once the aura is on it, so in order to reduce the amount of life that we're draining from opponents. Yeah, I suppose I need to start putting that they're auras to make sure I know how many auras are in our deck. Dystopia is kind of the opposite of what we need, because I don't want my white auras going away. Errand of Duty, Exile, Fatal Lore, Feast or Famine, Inheritance. Outpost, can't run Pride. Got blue in the activation. Enters the battlefield, draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. Tap enchant. Oh, it has to be a non-wall creature I control. Tap enchanted creature, deal 1 damage to any target, and gets a -0, -1 counter. Think so. Enchanted creature gets +2/+1 if it's black, otherwise it gets -1/-2. No. Well, that is a little bit versatile in that we can put it on our opponent's non-black creatures to drink them, or put them on our random black creature as a bonus. It's still not doing all that much. Kind of underwhelming. So. Nothing else. Alright, back we go then. Alliances. Amonkhet. One or more tokens under my control, it creates twice that many tokens instead. I don't think we're going to be running any of the like, maybe we would run one or two of the curse roll tokens just because. But for the most part, I don't see us wanting Anointed Procession just to make those things double up. When Cartouche enters the battlefield, put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 in lifelink. And the white one makes a 1/1 soldier token with vigilance, or warrior token rather with vigilance, and gives +1/+1 in first strike. They both have to be on a creature I control too, so that kind of reduces the function in the deck that I could get out of it. And no to compulsory rest. Curses are auras, right? That's what she cares about. X is the number of auras I control. Yeah. Alright, we might want Cruel Reality then. I'm on cat. Cruel Reality. 5 black and aura curse, because I might need to know how many curses I have later on. Dust to Dawn, no. Dispossess, Devoted Cropmate. Turns a creature with mana value 2 or less, so no. Edifice of Authority, Embalmer's Tools, Faith of the Devoted. Finish. This is finish. Sacrifice a creature, destroy target creature. Yeah, probably not. The other side makes 1/1s, I think. Take the Worldly. Getting at the Trials isn't doing much here. These. Gravedigger, Gustwalker. Think so. Sorcery. Zombies Matter on top of that, which I don't think we're going to be at all. Never to Return. Oh, Ketra. Oracle's Vault, Painful Lesson. No. Section of the Heckma. Think so. Faith, no. First strike. Nope. Cat. Suns. Finish. Stir the Sands. Natural Stamina. Supply Caravan. Supply Caravan is... oh, makes a 1. Okay. Doesn't revolve around auras in any way or enchantments in general. Otherwise, there might have been a world where I wanted it. Time to reflect. Trespasser's Curse. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under enchanted player's control, that player loses a life and I gain a life. Do I care at all? It's a very minor thing. So each opponent loses X life and I gain X life, where X is the number of auras I control. So it is another aura I control. And it does make that player lose life and I gain life during their turn also for making creatures. So I might be able to find somebody to put this on. First. There's only one S at the beginning. This is one in the black. Enchant. Aura. Curse. Just 5, right? Yeah. Fix that one while we're at it. Now the True Heart Duelist. Wavering Attendant. The Viziers. Wasteland Scorpion. Wayward Mummy. Yep, okay. Back we go. Monkette. Shouldn't have anything from Antiquities. I don't think there were any auras. There might be an enchant artifact in this set, but I don't think I'm going to want it. Whenever enchanted artifact becomes tapped or a player activates an ability of enchanted artifact without the tap activated cost, artifact possession deals 2 damage to that artifact's controller. Enchanted creature can't be blocked. Oh, artifact ward. So they can't be blocked by artifact creatures, prevent all damage, can't be the target of abilities from artifacts. It's almost protection from artifacts. Except if you randomly manage to attach an equipment to it, it doesn't fall off. But beyond that, circle of protection artifacts, no. Camping field. Gate to Phyrexia shouldn't be necessary. Haunting Winds. Any of these fun artifacts. This deck, anyway. Yeah, didn't think so. So, Antiquities, done. On to Apocalypse. Alright, what fun white-black card do we have here? Oh, Coalition Flag. Has to be on a creature I control. While an opponent is choosing targets as part of casting a spell they control or activating an ability they control, must choose at least one flag bearer. I think not. Dead Ringers, Death Grasp, Isolation Angel. I mean, you can always run Armageddon effects to, we get a whole bunch of good auras onto the battlefield, and then we Armageddon so that nobody can do anything about them for a few turns, and then we win with Eriette. I don't know that I want to do that just yet. Certainly is an option. Manacles of Decay don't quite work. Doom. Zombie. Both they lose 3 life, not really doing much for us. Old Phyrexian Arena. I'm not opposed to running. Soul Link. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage, I gain that much life. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, I gain that much life. I mean, it does work for me. Like, I am gaining the life regardless of whose creature it's on, so there's that. It's alright. I have a feeling that I probably, this doesn't feel like a card that really makes the cut consistently. Probably not. And I know we have better options for Vindicate. That was Apocalypse. On to Arabian Nights. Which again, will have like a random aura or two, but creature auras were not particularly good back then, so I'm not expecting anything. It's more likely that I will find a card just for the deck in general that I forgot about. Yeah, Guardian Beast does nothing to protect our auras. Can't run library. Oubliette is an enchantment. Aura. Sorcerer Queen. Nope. Okay. Arabian Nights. Base set. Avacyn restored. There's a lot of blinking going on in Avacyn. I don't know that there would be that many auras in this set, but maybe I'm forgetting one or two that might be relevant. I think I need Avacyn. Give my auras indestructible. I think if we get to the point where I'm casting Avacyn to protect our auras, we've either already won or things have gone really weird. Command creature has, at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Yeah, not something I really want to give to the opponent unless I literally have the curse on them that's making them lose a life for every creature they have put into play. So, prevent all damage that will be dealt by enchanted creature. I'm already preventing the damage by having the aura on it since they can't attack me normally. So, kind of medium. Also, it lets them go, hey, I'm just going to attack you with this, and you can block it and kill it for me, so that way we both stop losing life to the stupid witch. And the other opponent's going to be like, probably sure, okay. So. Enchanted creature gets -1/-1 and is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. It's okay. I have a feeling we can do better than this, but it is the type of thing I'm looking for, where it is a detriment to the creature or a benefit to us for them having it, and they can't normally attack us in the meantime. So, there was a zombie, exile it. I think I missed anything from the non-aura cards, but I did go through them a bit too quickly. Exile Seclusion, no. Killing Wave, Leap of Faith. Any of these. And all combat damage will be dealt to and dealt by Moonlit Geist. No. Nope. Soulbound, that's an instant. Target land. It's +2/+1. Enchant creature has Intimidate as long as you control no other creatures. As long as its controller controls no other creatures. I don't think so. Angel creature. Not helping a ton. Terminus. When enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under my control. Okay. I will consider that one. So this is Avacyn. This is Unhallowed Pact. This way, if they get the creature killed off to get the aura off the battlefield, I get it back. I get the creature back anyway. So. So that gives me a little extra insurance against them just getting the creature killed. If the creature's good enough and I'm going to steal it after that, they might not. They might rather take the 1 damage and let everybody else take the 1 damage rather than try and stop me. For each creature enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has flying. Maybe. Battle. This also appeared in M20 and the Commander set and Forgotten Realms. Battle Bond. I think this came out before Battle Bond, so. One in a white. At least consider it. Because it does draw us a card when it comes in, so cantripping on the auras so that way we don't lose additional card advantage, especially if we're putting them on our opponent's creatures. The old, if you target your opponent's creature with the cantrip effect with the minor buff until end of turn, you almost always get the card, especially if you're not going to make use of the buff that turn. In Limited, we're basically doing the same thing, except we want the aura to stick on their creature after that for value, so that type of effect, I'm more inclined to play it so that way the opponent is likely to not sacrifice the creature right away. It does make it better, but it doesn't make it any stronger, so even if it can attack us, we might not have had a blocker anyway. Considering I'm focused way more on getting more auras for Eriette than I have been on, providing myself with creatures to block with. Also, if we put it on a minor creature and just give it flying, it's like, hey, that can now attack our opponents better, and it's not super hurting us, so, go for it. Have fun with your new buffed up creature. I don't think we need any of these rally creatures for anything. Although I am just glossing over them. Do any of them have a thing that would care about getting an aura back when I rally? Anything along those lines? No. Okay. I don't see anything along that type of effect, but I couldn't remember if there actually was one or not. Outburst, Quarantine Field, Retreat to Ameria, Retreat to Hagra. Yeah, I don't think we need Serene Steward. We might want some of the gain life payoffs since we gain so much life, but we don't need like mediocre ones like that. We can definitely do better. Yeah, it's not anything. Alright, so nothing else fun from battle. Alright, after battle comes Battle Bond. Makes sense. What are we at? 44 minutes? Alright, we can add this in and just get the new cards. Partner. Beginning of each end step, if your team gain life this turn, create 2 1/1s. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. Sacrifice X creatures, draws X cards, gains X life, and puts X 1/1 counters on Krav. That player loses half their life. Knights I control, or no, dragons I control have double strike. The other one gives knights flying and haste. Captain makes a 1/1. Warriors get +1/+1. Gain Death Touch. Tap target creature. Gets a Planeswalker. That controls another warrior. Tap target creature. Vigilance, lifelink. Return it to owner's hand and buffing power or toughness at the cost of the other. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Creatures your team controls get +1/+1. Or 2. Exile non-land permanents. Each friend puts a 1/1 counter on each creature they control. Each foe chooses one untapped creature they control and taps the rest. Port 2 with a counter on it. Return it to owner's hand. Archfiend of Despair. Alright, so I would control both the triggers so I can stack it so Eriette resolves first and would add to the Archfiend of Despair's damage. So maybe. I'll consider it. I already have the other thing on the list, so the class Wound Reflection Warlock class, I think it is. So Archfiend of Despair. 6 black demon 6/6. Scoundrels, don't need fan favorite. Gang up. Enchant creature gets +2/+2, has flying as a demon additional to its other types. When inner demon enters the battlefield, all non-demon creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. I think so. Stunning Reversal. Pressure Brute. Thrilling Encore. For each player, friend or foe, each friend returns a creature card from graveyard to your hand. Each foe sacrifices a creature they control. Well, we don't want to make them sacrifice because they'll just get rid of the things we put auras on. That won't be fun for us. Alright, that was Battle Bond. Beat down Betrayers of Kamigawa. Beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. And 0 regenerate enchant creature. So the U refers to the controller of Blessing of Leeches, so that's not particularly good. Fear, Soul Shift, no. Protection from colors of permanents you control. Enchant Swamp, 2. Until end of turn, Enchant Swamp becomes a 2/2 black spirit with the Shade ability, and when Enchant Swamp is put into your graveyard, you may return Genju of the Fens from your graveyard to your hand. Genju of the Fields makes it a 2/5 that has pseudo lifelink. The only thing I like about them is because they enchant lands, they're harder to get rid of than enchant creatures. The problem is that they have to be specifically on a plains or a swamp. We can't put it on like an opponent's manland or something so that it can't attack us when it animates. Prevent all damage to be dealt to and dealt by enchanted creature. I mean, that's fine. It's already stopped from attacking us, though, so I don't need it to not deal any damage at all. But the upside is that they can't get it into combat and get it killed. Like, it has to be killed by outside assistance, basically. Either targeted removal, mass removal, or enchantment destruction at that point. Flying. Gain that much life. Legend rule doesn't apply. any of these. Cast a Spirit Arcane spell, make a 3/3 Spirit with flying. Creature attacks, I gain 1 life. Permanent is put into opponent's graveyard, that player loses 1 life. That's Scour, right? Gets rid of target enchantment and all copies in its controller's deck. Stir the Grave. Eno's Cavalry. Don't control a demon. Meh. Verdict. That which was taken. White and 1. The next 1 damage will be dealt to enchanted creature this turn is dealt to any target instead. So I put it on a creature. That creature can attack me. If the enchanted creature would be dealt damage, I can spend mana to have redirect that damage to any target I want. That's actually kind of interesting. This is Betrayers of Kamigawa. This is Ward of Piety. And a white, enchant aura. I don't know that that's actually going to make the list, but I am kind of amused by the idea that not only can they not attack me, but if they try and attack it into something else to get it killed, we have the option to just spend mana to redirect damage from the enchanted creature to whatever target we actually want killed instead. Born of the Gods. Yeah, actually, Theros block should have a lot of interesting cards for us to look at, given the heroic mechanic. Also, we might want certain creatures with the heroic mechanic in our deck, since we will have lots of auras that we could potentially target them with and trigger their heroic, so if it's actually one of the stronger ones, it would be worth considering. Enchanted creature has black 1, tap, target player loses 2 life. I mean, we can't stop our opponent from using it to target us if they have the black mana. Or destroy target enchantment. No, I don't think so. Oh, that's right, the bestow mechanic. It's an aura spell with enchant creature. It becomes a creature again if it's not attached to a creature. So we might actually be interested in the bestow creatures too. I did not consider that, but yeah. Intimidate and Inspired. +1/+1 and double strike. I still don't really want to put like overly powerful ones on the opponent's creatures, but there is a world where I do want some amount of this thing. Enters the battlefield, return target enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. It's a 5 mana 1/4 flyer. Yeah, I think we could do better than that. Herald of Torment actually dings them for a point of damage. Hey, aura spells I cast cost 1 less to cast. Alright. So, Betrayers. Or not Betrayers. Born of the Gods. Reborn. Born of the Gods. Yeah, I don't think I need Grizzly Transformation, because if I put it on a creature that's a green, red, or blue creature, I won't be able to block it. without an artifact creature, so I don't need to make it that hard to block. Black. Enchant Demon. 3/3. I don't know if we'll actually run that one, but maybe. Because it actually starts pinging the opponent. Excuse me. While it's stopping them from attacking me. So. Definitely interested in the Hero of Aerois. And his cost reduction. Soldier 2/2. Look at the top X cards. Reveal legendary creature. No. Instant. Bestows +2/+1 and bestows +1/+2. Odunos River Trawler. Odunos River Trawler. Can only get back enchantment creatures. So I would have to be running enough of the bestow creatures for that to be relevant. Search my library for up to 2 enchantment cards, reveal them, and put them in my hand. I'm gonna add it to the list, but I honestly see myself not running this card. Just because of the 6-drop sorcery aspect of it. Like, yes, it can tutor for 2 cards, and I probably will have at least one cheap enough that I can throw it on an opponent's creature if I have 7+ mana. Like, at 7 mana, I should be able to find a 1 mana aura I can throw on an opponent's creature if it's that big a deal, but for the most part, I don't think it's going to be that good in our deck. When it attacks, return target enchantment card from my graveyard to the battlefield. That one's a bit closer. As far as overpriced, because at least it's getting back something every turn that it gets to attack. It still might not be good enough. I don't know how many things we're going to have that will let it attack or be able to protect it to make sure it does get to attack, but it's an Archon and it's a 4/6. Spiteful Returned. When enchanted creature attacks, defending player loses 2 life, and it gives +1/+1. Yeah. I'm at least interested in these bestow creatures, especially the ones that... Like, it can't attack us naturally, so they have to get rid of Eriette first. And if they do, then we lose 2 life when it attacks us, and the creature gets +1/+1, so that's a little bit rough. But in the meantime, if they have to attack into one of our opponents to get rid of it, then attacking into them will cause that player to lose the 2 life at least, and then maybe we can do some other stuff to stop it from getting killed later on. Yeah, Way of the Underworld's a bit too expensive. Alright, so we're right at the hour mark, but I am kind of feeling it with this deck. Like, I'm very interested in where this is going, so if you're watching this live, keep watching. I'll continue with the deck building. If you're watching this on YouTube or in the VODs, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.